Whether you're sitting down to write your first script or are an experienced writer writing your 10th screenplay, where you get your script ideas from can be tricky. There are a number of easy ways to help get your creative juices flowing when it comes to finding your initial story ideas. The tactics below will help kickstart your potential script ideas, that initial first stage in the screenwriting process that can often feel the hardest. Hang on till the end of this video, because I'm going to review 5 tips for coming up with script topic ideas for your next film, video production, or even television show. Hi, I'm Jim Costa. I'm a full-time working photographer, video producer, video editor, and technology pro. I want to get going on the topic quickly, but do stick around till the end of this video because I'm going to tell you about some freebies and training courses that I offer to improve your photography, video production, and filmmaking work and help grow your business through something known as earned media exposure, which is basically free advertising. If you like what you see, smash that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video each and every Wednesday. Remember, I welcome your comments, questions, and more on all of my videos. So, you want to become a screenwriter. Where do you look for ideas for the plot of your script? Idea number 1, script ideas from current news stories. News stories can be a great way of sourcing script ideas. From the stories that are dominating the headlines to a small article hidden like on page 20 of the newspaper. There's a reason why there's a lot of movies and shows that start their trailers or teasers with the line ripped from today's headlines. News and current events can make for some good stories. So what do you want to be on the lookout for? If there is a story that captures your imagination, then bookmark it. Is there a theme running through this news story? Contemporary audiences seek films that say something meaningful about the world that they are living in. A script idea based on a hot news story could be a shortcut to finding an audience for your script and a place for it in the marketplace. Ask yourself, why would this make a good movie? You might have found an interesting story. However, can you translate this relevant news story into a story that makes sense for it to be told in a cinematic context? Is there an identifiable protagonist in the news story? Are they an interesting or original character? And if there isn't one already, who could that be? Is there a goal for that character to achieve and an obstacle to achieving that goal? Does the story have an identifiable narrative arc? And if not, can you give it one? Is there a beginning, middle, and end to the story? Finding a topical news story for your script idea can feel exciting. In a sense, it has done the work for you in terms of its theme and marketability. However, it's important to remember that there needs to be much more than just a story and a theme to justify existence as a cinematic feature or even a TV show. Is there an engaging narrative? And perhaps most importantly, who are the characters that lead this story? Answer these questions to see if the story would make a good plot. Number 2, script ideas from public domain stories. Public domain stories are stories that are not protected by intellectual property laws, including copyright, trademark, or patent laws. This usually applies to materials on which the copyright has expired. In the United States, that means any works published before 1923 or works published before 1964, when there were new copyright laws enacted, for which copyrights were not renewed. For any works published after 1977, after the Copyright Act of 1976 went into effect, the copyright will expire 70 years after the author's death. That does seem like a long time to wait, which is why turning to old or classic stories on which the copyright will have long expired is a good way to go. Take a look at adaptations. Obviously, the most famous works on which the copyright has expired will have already been turned into movies. possibly multiple times. For example, Dracula, Hamlet, or Pride and Prejudice have all had multiple adaptations, even very recently. However, that doesn't have to stop you. Could you, for example, adapt the essential elements and themes of the story to a contemporary setting? This is a technique used quite often by screenwriters and can help give your script a solid grounding in terms of the characters, themes, and narrative. We wouldn't have any vampire movies today if the basic concept of Dracula wasn't adapted many times over. Disney movies are famous for taking old stories and repurposing them. For example, Aladdin is based on a 1706 folktale called 1001 Nights. The Lion King is heavily influenced by Shakespeare's Hamlet. These movies are more direct adaptations with crucial twists on them. There are examples of more subtle and contemporary adaptations. For example, Clueless is a loose adaptation of Jane Austen's Emma. 10 Things I Hate About You takes its inspiration from Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. You might not think at first glance that these high school movies have grounding in such literary titans, but they really do. It's in part the solid ground of the essential stories on which they have to build, which is why they are so compelling and memorable. These classic stories have lasted a long time in the cultural consciousness for a reason. Using them as a basis might help give a robust grounding on which to tell your story. So start searching the public domain for your next masterpiece. Number 3, script ideas from your life and experience. You might have a unique story to tell yourself, one that comes directly from your experience. This could be the starting point when thinking of where to source script ideas from. Your experience is your experience and inherently unique to you. It will also be potentially an experience that other people can share and can relate to. Audiences respond to honesty and truth. Telling a story that comes from you in an honest and truthful way can be a shortcut to achieving an emotive response from an audience. Have you had a particular or unique experience that you want to or feel able to tell a story about? There might be morsels of a story from your life that you feel needs to be expanded on. Remember that title card you will have seen so often based on a true story. You might want to change the character names or a key narrative part of the story. Just make sure you are respectful to those real people involved and of the impact such changes could have. True stories are the holy grail of what producers are looking for in contemporary cinema. In a landscape full of remakes and sequels, an original, unique story is golden. From Philomena to The Big Sick to The Farewell, stories based on unique life experience can be the key to meaningful and powerful cinema. Number 4, script ideas from what makes you angry. This could indeed be related to news stories you're reading, as I mentioned earlier. Are there real-world issues that fire you up? Are there news stories that speak to a subject that you care passionately about? What do you want to champion with the story you tell, and what do you want to criticize? It's also worth thinking, outside issues as seen in the news, what else makes you angry? Are there behaviors or traits in people that get you riled up? By perhaps trying to find the source of that anger for you or seeking to understand it, you might come across motivations and underpinnings for your characters. Your script doesn't have to be angry, but analyzing anger can be a good way into psychoanalyzing characters, behaviors, and actions. Anger is a powerful emotion, and working it into your story idea can be an effective way of channeling that anger in a productive way. Number 5, script ideas from asking questions. As a screenwriter, asking questions should be a key part of how you approach your script and your script writing process in general. Who are your characters? What are their motivations? But asking questions can be a key part of generating your script idea in the first place. Asking what if is a good way to prompt and probe your imagination. What if a global cataclysm caused a mass extinction with only a handful of survivors? This is the theme from The Road and The Walking Dead. What if there was a medical procedure invented to erase memories of past loved ones? This is the theme of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You shouldn't seek to answer these questions straight away. Start off with a question and explore the potential ways it could be explored or the questions answered. If the question "what if" is your idea, then the branches coming off that need to be many. A good question needs a good answer. You might even argue that to make a truly satisfying story, the answer needs to be far more complicated than the question posed. This way, the story will find itself as one rich and deep for audiences to sink their teeth into. There's no surefire way to come up with your script idea, but be patient and attentive to some of the techniques discussed in this video and you might well stumble across the core idea that will power your next script. If one of these techniques doesn't work for you by itself, then try a different one or try combining them. Often the best script ideas take a little bit from each area. Take a touch of real life, add a little bit of personal experience, and a dash of imagination, combine them all to make a compelling script. Now, if this is making sense to you, but I've got it, in the comments section below. My question of the day is, where do you get your script ideas from? Leave a comment below and let me know. If you found the information in this video useful, I'd like to hear about it from you. If you liked it and want to see more videos like this, then follow my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films. If you think what you saw was great, please do like it. If you have an opinion, feel free to comment below. If you know someone who could benefit from the info that I provided, please share the video. You can connect with me and my company, Jim Costa Films, on social media and online, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the web by searching for Jim Costa Films. In fact, I currently have over 4,500 videos on my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films, so feel free to check out many of my other videos for great tips and suggestions. Thank you for sticking around this long. I mentioned at the beginning about some freebies and training. As a professional video producer and photographer, I've created an absolutely free cheat sheet for you on all the best camera settings to shoot with your DSLR, mirrorless, or video camera that will show you the settings that will allow your photos, and particularly your videos, to shine and stand out from the competition. The link to get that cheat sheet is just below in the video description. Best of all, my cheat sheet specializes in shooting video with any type of camera. In it, you'll find all the info you need on important video techniques, such as white balance, color temperature, frame rates, and more. I've also created an editing training course for Adobe Premiere Pro. My Quick Start training is designed to get you up and editing video in under 2 hours and includes over 100 tips, tricks, and keyboard shortcuts for video editors that get you started in the program and makes your workflow go much faster. Now, I'm also affiliated with Christina Nicholson, fellow media veteran like myself who helps businesses and entrepreneurs reach tons of their ideal customers or clients through the power of media without spending big bucks on advertising. I've worked with Christina and used her advice and training successfully, so I know from first-hand experience that it works great. The program Christina and I are now offering is called the Media Mentoring Program, and it will help you to take advantage of mainstream media so you can stand out from the competition, because that's not something everyone has access to. Best of all, unlike paid ads and sponsorships, you can gain lots of exposure and credibility to become the go-to brand everyone talks about and wants to do business with without spending a fortune on advertising, because the program is geared to get you free advertising. I'll link to those cheat sheets and training courses in the description below as well. There's videos on both courses that will give you an overview of how they can help you, as well as links to get more information. You can help to support my channel by purchasing my training courses, requesting my free downloads, or by hiring me to shoot and edit for you. Remember, I've also done other videos on filmmaking and video production and others on screenwriting tips as well, and I'll link to those in the description below. Finally, if you follow me for a while now, you know that I have a private community of photographers, videographers, and filmmakers just like you on Facebook, where I share other pro tips and tricks. It's called Video Producers and Content Creators. I love new members who want to share their work, learn from others, and also help others based on their own skills and experience. The group is private and only for people in the filmmaking, video production, and photography industries that I personally work in. There are also other video content creators as well. It's not a public group like my business Facebook page that I talked about earlier. That's public and anyone can see that. You'll find a link to that group in the description below, so feel free to join it where you can learn even more.